In this turbo video, we will whiz through the basics of sets and Venn diagrams in a matter of minutes. However, if you prefer something more sedate, we have a video that covers this topic at a slower pace and in more detail, so do check that one out too. At the end of this video, I'll let you know about some free downloads, which will help you remember all the fancy pant words that crop up when we talk about Venn diagrams, so stick around for that. Okay, let's crack on. First off the bat, all Venn diagrams start with a rectangle. No ifs, no buts. In this rectangle, we need to put everything that we are interested in. It could be numbers from 1 to 10. It could be fruit. It could be playing cards. It could be anything, but it needs to be inside the rectangle. In Venn diagrams, collections of items within a shape are known as sets, and the collection of things inside the rectangle is called the universal set. It has this symbol. If you can't remember how to draw it, use the amazing little jingle of "It's a backwards 3 with a tail, you see." Catchy! The symbol is always drawn near the corner of the rectangle, so don't forget to put it there. Let's say our universal set has the numbers 1 to 10. Here they are in our rectangle. You could write this in a few ways, like this, or even this. But in order to turn these into a fancy pants format known as set notation, we simply need to add curly brackets like this, and this. Always remember these curly brackets. If you don't, you might lose easy marks in exams and tests. At the moment, we only have one shape, a rectangle. Let's add another shape so that we can have another set. Here's a circle. We'll say that the collection of things inside this circle is known as set A. Now, let's have the rule that set A should contain even numbers. That means we need to move some numbers around. Here we go. Okay. And right, all the even numbers are now inside circle A. The symbol for set A is simply A. It represents this area, and as we can see, it contains even numbers. All of the items outside the set A circle are therefore not even numbers, or not A. It's this area here. Rather than writing not A, we write A with a little stick or apostrophe like this, and this is known as the complement of A. I always think of it as A stick, to stick in the memory. Let's take a closer look at these shaded areas. We can see that set A plus its complement combine to give the full universe rectangle. So A plus A stick equals the universe. If we want to know how many items there are in a set, we can use this N brackets notation. The N stands for number. So this means how many items are in the universal set, which is 10, because there are 10 items in our rectangle. And this means how many items are in set A, which is simply 5 for the 5 even numbers in the set A circle. So, similar to A plus A stick equals universe, we can also see that the number of items in A plus the number of items in its complement add up to the number of items in the universal set. In Venn diagram questions, we will usually have at least 2 circle sets. So let's start with 2 circles and a random group of objects. Ah! In this case, if set G was for grey things and set E was for things that have eyes, we'd find it pretty easy to place our objects until we got to the baby elephant, as you can see. Okay. Right, so the baby elephant. Now, the elephant is grey and has eyes, so it needs to be in both circles at once. This isn't possible with the circles in this position. However, if we overlap the circles, which you will see in lots of Venn diagrams, we now have an area here where items need to be grey for the G circle and have eyes for the E circle set. Perfect for our baby elephant. This area where G and E overlap is simply called the intersection of G and E. Writing "and" like this helps us remember that the symbol for intersection is this funny upside down U. So intersection is when we are interested in something being in both sets, so G and E. If being in G or E is fine, so being grey or having eyes, and let's use our way of spelling or, then we're interested in this area here. If the object is in G or E, it will appear somewhere within this shaded area. Using our way of spelling or means that it's easier for us to remember the symbol for or. It's this, which looks like a capital U and reminds us that this area is called the union of G and E. So G and E is the intersection, which is this area here, and G or E is the union, which is this area here. Boom! That was your high-speed tour of the Venn diagram universe. Short, sharp, and hopefully super helpful. Apologies if it was too fast, but I've actually got a fear of speed bumps. But I'm slowly getting over it. Now, before I move on to the free downloads, here's a quick bonus tip to help you tackle tricky questions involving intersections and unions. Let's say you had a question asking to look at the intersection or union for G and E stick, which is the complement of E. Start with a quick sketch for the first set, which in this case is G. Shade the area that represents G by using diagonal lines like this. Then do another sketch for the second set, which in this case is E stick, or not E, or the complement of E. Shade the area for this, but this time use lines that slope in the opposite direction. Now, combine these shaded regions onto the same diagram, and with practice you probably won't need to use the first two sketches. When we combine them on the same diagram, we'll have something that looks like this, and this combined diagram will be the same whether the questions concern the intersection or the union. Because now all you need to remember is that the intersection is the area that has crossed lines, so this area here, and the union is the area that has any lines, so this area here. Hopefully that tip will keep you calm and confident whenever you are confronted with a tricky question. So finally, the free downloads. I've put together some free Venn diagram flashcards. There are versions to use on your device, as well as print and cut files that conveniently fold over. I hope you find them helpful. Grab them in the link in the description below. That's it for now. If you found this helpful, please do press any of the nice YouTube buttons below. Subscribing really helps and means you won't miss out on any of our other videos. Speaking of which, here are some which might take your fancy. Until next time, I'll see you there.